All right, everybody. Thanks for downloading this episode. We got a chance to talk to Reese Humphrey. You football fans might not recognize that name. It's a wrestler, so a little bit different this time. And I shouldn't say we this time.
Yeah, this time I had to sit out, and you're probably wondering why I'm doing the intro because I never really do the intros. But I just wanted to kind of explain, like, we didn't want you listening the whole time and being like, "Is he gonna say something?"
Yeah,
I had to work the day we recorded this, so I had to sit out on this time, and we might end up having to do some solo podcasts
yeah.
more
We
and more because we're getting so many people.
we've been checking our schedule, and it's a little full of interviews. So a couple of these next we got about eight on the back burner right now, and a couple of these might turn out as solo flights. So I mentioned it a little bit through, so in case you join in late or something, you pick up on it. I'll say that I'm by myself. So before we get started, if you don't mind heading over to iTunes real quick and giving us a review and a rating, we'd really appreciate that. But yeah, here's Reese Humphrey. He worked out with the Olympics and worked out with a couple more people here coming up in the future. So if you check out the interview, see who he's talking about, and here we go. All right, everybody, we're sitting here talking with Reese Humphrey. He's a wrestler. What exactly are you, so you're on the US team, right?
Yeah, I was. I won the U.S. Olympic Games. I was on three different world tours. Unfortunately, not an Olympian. It's the same exact process, but I was on the team in 2011, 2013, 2015. So right around London and right before Rio. But same process, and it's been fun. I've been to over 60 countries wrestling, and it's been a blast the whole time trying to represent our country in the best way.
Absolutely, not even a question. I was a I'm not even remotely comparing myself to you, but I was a wrestler in high school. For people that don't know that are probably not going to pick up on, I think we talked about it in the intro, but Patrick's not here today. But I was a wrestler in high school, so we only had one of us available today, so it's kind of like the best person was available, I guess you could say. But what
Sure.
what got you into wrestling early on?
It's an interesting story. I started wrestling just because of my buddies in school were wrestling, but I came home and told my dad that I was going to wrestle, and his eyes kind of lit up, and I remember it to this day. And I was always wondering. I kind of asked him why he was so excited, and he started to tell me why. And totally unbeknownst to me, my dad was a two-time Olympic coach and was second in the world, a world silver medalist. And I'm sure he never told me that he wrestled at all. I'm sure I had wrestled my brother quite a bit in the living room, and he probably taught me a few things, simple things, keeping your head up and keeping your back straight. But no, he never let me know that he. Hang on one second, I'm getting a call. Right. Yeah, he never let me know that he was a wrestler or anything. And I never put the two together that all his buddies were wrestlers because I was a little bit too young for that. So it was always a good thing because wrestling is such a tough sport that it has to be your choice. There's so many times where you're going to be pushed to the limit and want to quit, and if you're trying to do it for somebody else, it's really just not going to work out for you. Um, I think it worked out better that way.
Yeah, I would say it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it had a pretty you've had a pretty monumental career. I mean, it's we're sitting here looking at, or I'm sitting here looking at some of your your list of accomplishments, championships and accomplishments, and it's definitely got to scroll the page a few times to be able to read the whole thing. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
did you wrestle all through like middle and high school and everything?
yeah. So I started in middle school, which is pretty late for someone who makes it to the elite level like I did. Um, Most guys start when they're 4 or 5 and go through the whole process of winning these younger Tulsa Nationals and all this, and I didn't even have a shot at any of that because I started in sixth grade. Um, but I had the feel for it. I was undefeated my first year, and and then won 3 state titles in high school. So I was pretty good at it right away. But like I said, I think my dad was teaching me some stuff in the living room without me thinking it was like a practice. So it was a real good environment to try and learn for me. And I mean, to make it as far as I did, I think a lot of things have to line up. I had a great high school coach. I had great wrestling partners and training partners in middle school and high school. We we were great in middle school, and then as a high school team, we won 2 state titles with zero recruiting or anything. It was all homegrown kids that just kind of worked through the 2 middle schools that fed into my high school. So pretty lucky on that front to have great drill partners. And then I went to Ohio State and had awesome drill partners there as well. And that's something that I kind of saw. When I was getting recruited there, I knew that the next class was going to be really good, but they were 11th in the Big Ten, which is right at the bottom. So I kind of saw that what they had, what their future was, and what partners I was going to have, and then it ended up working out really great, and we were second in the nationals twice.
Yeah, it's did you how did you do as a like your personal record in high school?
It was like 177 and sixth.
God Almighty.
Yeah, so it was pretty good.
Yeah,
A lot
no
of things
kidding.
worked out for me. Yeah.
And so you went on to Ohio State, and how was I wrestled to the high school level. I just kind of picked it up. I started out playing football in middle school, and then I done wrestling as an off season. I grew to like wrestling more, so I ended up doing it longer. But I stopped after high school. Went on to college and do my degree and everything. But so I never got to experience wrestling at a college level. What's college wrestling like? Like, what's the big difference from high school, kind of?
That's just a huge jump. Yeah, I think it's the biggest jump going from high school sports to collegiate. There's everybody's strong. Everybody has good position and good technique. I mean, wrestling in the Big Ten, every single person I wrestled was a 3 or 4 time state champion, ranked nationally. So the grind, I said my record in high school and the close bouts were few and far between. So you only had to peak certain times of year, and so you could pick up your training when you knew you had a good guy coming up. But once I got to college, I wrestled my true freshman year, and going from getting tech falls and falls pretty much every match, and then having one close one, I don't know, every other month, compared to having a 3-2 match Friday and a 4-2 Sunday, a back-to-back, and a ton of wins, where everybody you wrestle is very high level is a huge jump. And then as well in the practice room, you go from beating everybody up to really fighting for every single takedown, and it's a huge, huge toll on your body. The season's almost twice as long. The training, the running and the lifting is twice as hard, and the wrestling is a game changer as well. So everything is a battle when you're used to not battling for that much. And, some people are used to it, and some people are ready for that change. But it hit me in the face, and I wasn't quite ready for it. And I started out the season 24-4, which is really great for a true freshman. And I was ranked, I think, 7th or 8th in the country, and then I lost 12 out of the next 14 matches.
Wow.
Just kind of broke. And so that would be my advice, is to be really prepared for the end of the season, because even if you're doing really well, it can still hit you really hard. I was cutting a lot of weight, and it all caught up to me real quick, and I broke, which is something that I'm not accustomed to, and something that I hate, but it is a real thing, and that you have to be ready for.
Yeah, cutting weight is hell on earth. I mean, it's terrible. I've only had to do it a few times. I wrestled up in high school, but cutting weight, I'm glad I didn't have to do it. You're right. It's a toll. I mean, it's terrible.
Yes, I cut weight pretty much my whole career. A couple of my last years in high school I didn't, but yeah, man, I've done it every way possible. The right way, the wrong way, the fast way, the dreaming out way, and it's all pretty miserable. But um, the misery of losing is way worse for me.
Yeah,
So
that
it
yeah,
was always an easy choice.
that's definitely the worst.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just, yeah, it can be pretty brutal too. So, but I've done it so many different ways, and once I finally got it to what was correct for my body, the longer method and the drawn out, start really early and lose your weight over 6 weeks instead of 6 days. Because I mean, I've cut from my biggest cut was probably like from 160 to 132,
Good
So
God.
pretty brutal. And then that was pretty extreme. But most of the time, these guys in freestyle, it's a senior level, will cut 15 to 20 pounds just to be the same size as everybody else. So it's pretty crazy sport. Um, but there's a right way to do it, and if you do everything right, you get your sleep and you get your meals planned out, and you work extremely hard and teach your body how to sweat. You can put your body through some crazy things.
Yeah, you really can. It's wrestling's a weird experience. Like I remember, when I got introduced to it, because middle school they don't take it as seriously as they do in high school, and I'm sure it's even like you said, it's worse in college. But I mean, it's taken pretty serious in high school, and it's a grueling process. I mean, it's a hard thing to day in and day out to really. I remember like leaving fourth period, like walking, and I'm like, God, do I really want to do this today? Like this is so ridiculous. Like it's
Yeah,
no doubt the hardest sport. Not even remotely close as the hardest sport I've ever played. Not even close.
yeah. I haven't played too many sports, but I hear good things
I mean, I've
or
played
bad things.
I played a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, and obviously wrestling. It's like it's leaps and bounds. The conditioning, the amount of just how hard you go in practice for 3 or 4 straight hours. And then it's crazy because you go that hard for 3 or 4 hours, and then you get a 6 minute wrestling match and you're gassed. You feel like you want to just go lay in a corner and die. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. The difference between practice and competition. We put in a ton of work because that 6 minutes is
Yeah,
so hard, and people don't understand how hard that'll be. But wrestling your buddy in the living room, you'll figure out how exhausted you can get real
yeah.
fast. So,
I mean, you're trying to manhandle a guy who's trying to manhandle you. Just so I mean,
right.
that's basically what you're doing. But um, moving on to your, I get is this technically a professional career, or do they still how do they classify when you get to like world teams? Like how do they classify that?
Man, I don't know. It's not amateur because people can accept sponsorships and accept money. And my era, like right when I was starting to get on the scene, was kind of right when wrestling was starting to grow and starting to pop on social media. Uh, I was kind of the beginning of it actually, but I was one of the first guys to have, head to toe sponsorships from shoes to socks to apparel to headphones and supplements. And for me, wrestling, there's not a lot of money in wrestling, but I had a family and I wanted to be able to take care of them in the way that I thought that they deserved. So I always hunted for all that stuff and put myself out there doing tricks online and athletic challenges and this and that. And I got a pretty decent following, at least for the sport of wrestling, and got sponsorships, and it worked out really well. It was my job, and it was all I did. I trained twice a day, and whatever any of my sponsors wanted me to do on top of that was always pretty easy. I never felt like I had a job, but wrestling is so time consuming that I would only work from I'd work out once in the morning for a couple hours and then once in the afternoon for a couple hours. But wrestling's so 24/7 with the diet and the sleep, and you're always going to be on top of your game in all aspects that you want to do. You want to fulfill your potential and do the best that you can. So now I do similar stuff. I coach, but it's a lot more hours. But it's so much less than the 24/7 of when I was training and competing. Um, so yeah, man, it's been a blast.
So we were looking when we were kind of preparing our notes and stuff last night. We were looking through your Twitter, and we saw a video of you saying you got a coaching job. Where is the coaching job at exactly?
I'll be moving to the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast now. But I'll be moving to the East Coast. I'll be coaching at Princeton and Rutgers University. It's called the NJRTC, New Jersey Regional Training Center. And so I am going to be coaching guys who are trying to make the Olympic team. Trying to
Sweet.
help them, trying to help them fulfill their goals. But it'll be affiliated with Princeton, affiliated with Rutgers, so we can get funding from both of those schools to help support these athletes. And and hopefully I can get some good guys to come over there and get excited about it. And so then we'll have that same kind of situation I was talking about when I was moving to Ohio State, uh, where the training partners and the environment is what they need to do the best they can.
Yeah, and it'll be cool to have someone who's recently experienced that transition. You know what I'm saying? Like 31,
Right.
31, pretty young guy. I mean,
Yeah. Right.
you just experienced it just a couple years ago. It seems like probably, and I mean, now you can help guys make that transition who probably aren't expecting the jump or whatever. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm very new to it. I feel pretty lucky to be able to be moving into a coaching position like this at my age. But I think there are advantages to it. I'm really hungry. I want these guys to succeed. I want to succeed as a coach. I got to prove myself. Um, Coaching's in my blood, though. My dad coached 2 Olympic teams, and I think if I've got some athletes on deck that might want to make a move and that I think could be on the team in 2020, some would be the end goal, but hopefully just the beginning goal as well. So
Oh yeah,
something to build off of.
it's
And that's something that I think is attainable. So I think that we can push and maybe get there.
well kind of jumping back to your career. With all the world accomplishments you have. Like who are some opponents that stick out that you can kind of remember some of the toughest guys you've kind of wrestled.
Yeah, so if you look them up, the toughest matches, and is normally people would pick ones they win, but some of my toughest ones were against Iran. They're just classic matchups. Um, Real condition, well conditioned guys, and I would get way ahead, and then it was just a crazy battle up until the very end. So, but just a lot of points, high scoring, big throws. Um, I threw the first guy, I threw the guy from the run, got a concussion in the first 30 seconds, and then I don't remember half the match, but still out there fighting. They're fun to watch. And then there's so many matches against Russia and Azerbaijan and all these other powerhouses um, that are all fun to watch too. And then I guess domestically, I had some battles with Coleman Scott, who was an Olympic bronze medalist, and Mike Zadek in the U.S. Open semifinals was kind of my first big win that got my career kicked off. But yeah, man, they were all they were all tough to be honest.
Oh yeah,
Didn't have too many easy ones on the at the worlds or on the international scene.
yeah. When you get to that level, there's no walking through anybody.
Not so
They're all
much.
there for a reason. And I
Yeah.
mean, uh, so I guess we had a question lined up, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask it, but I think you kind of already answered it. Did you ever consider maybe like when you were done, with like the world teams and stuff, and did MMA ever even, was it ever even an option?
Yeah, I really did consider it. My strength coach, Dustin Myers, Coach Myers got check on Instagram, is as a boxing coach, and so we started to just kind of feel it out, and we would do striking 2 or 3 times a week, just in case. We always kind of knew that it wasn't high on the priority list, and mainly because my wife didn't like it and my dad didn't like it, which was surprising to me. Mainly because I had all these coaching opportunities as well.
Yeah.
But I think it would have fit my style really well, and that's easy to say, because I've never done it. But my striking was coming along pretty good. I'm pretty long. I have a long reach, for the weight class. Um, it'd be more on the feet and less of a grind and more a tactical battle. So I think it would have been uh, good for my style, and I think I would have done well. Actually, I'm getting ready to go work out with TJ Dillashaw here in the next couple weeks.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, so he said he needs to work on his wrestling, and I just think it would be cool to roll around with him a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's about to fight. It's not confirmed, but they're saying he's fighting Demetrius Johnson. So
no, I saw something he's getting ready to fight Garbrandt.
again?
Uh, yeah, Garbrandt signed the contract, and TJ didn't. So
Wow. Okay.
it's
Okay.
supposed to be.
Big news drop right here on the PM Reviews podcast. You heard it first. So
Yeah. I'm
we're out here
following some
breaking
of the
news before
news.
Joe Rogan and Fox is.
Yeah. No, I don't think that I'm drinking, spilling the beans at all on that one. I think Cody's busted quite a few things about it, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to.
That's cool.
Hopefully, he can teach me some stuff on the feet, and I can show him some stuff on the mat.
Yeah, that's like you're talking about the best pound for pound bantamweight in the world right now. So I mean, number one pound
We'll
for pound
see.
bantamweight in the world. That's crazy. That's an awesome thing. I mean, congratulations on that. That's super cool. That's
Yeah, yeah, I'm
we're big
excited.
time MMA fans around here. So that's gonna, when Patrick hears that, he's gonna freak out. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna try and kind of vlog the experience. So hopefully I can do a decent job at that and post it and get some views.
And I'll ask this. This is a personal question of mine, and we're also fans of this, so I gotta ask. Because there are a couple in there. Professional wrestling you never took an interest to that at all?
Um, Dude, I would love to.
For real?
You know, yeah, I would, but
Because I
I've
mean,
never been
you got the Kurt
approached.
Angles and the Brock Lesnar's, and I mean
Yeah, they're
Jason
normally,
Jordan. I mean,
they're yeah, no, he's awesome. They're normally big guys, and I'm not. So I've never been approached by anything like that. But I love anything on camera, and uh, trying to act or perform has always been fun for me. So yeah, I would love to do something like that, but I've never been approached, and
it's a real good way to get your
it's
name
never
out.
been
Like,
a real thing. Yeah, no doubt.
yeah, it's a
And
good
I've
way.
heard the process is very long before you make it. I think Jake Herbert really tried to do it, who was an Olympian in 2012, and he said that it was like a 3-year tour before you could even, potentially make it to the big time.
Yeah.
So not for me.
um, so we'll kind of winding down here. We were checking out your YouTube channel. If you want to do a little self promoting on that, kind of promote that a little bit.
Sure. So it's youtube.com/highlight Humphrey. It's mainly just technique right now. Technique for wrestlers, and then but in the works right now I have I have all these Instagram posts that I don't know, 3 or 4 of them had 1 million views on Instagram, and a
Wow.
couple more have 500,000. And so I'm just gonna break those down and kind of get the secrets behind them, with the double plank and walking up the wall and a lot of these things that have gone viral. But yeah, so I'm gonna be posting those, and then I'm getting into vlogs, and just working out the kinks right now. Kind of a rookie in the game, but um, something I enjoy doing, and hopefully I can start to spread that too.
Yeah, you got good views on them. I mean, a couple of them's like almost up around 5,000. So I mean, really,
Just for a beginning channel, they're doing okay.
yeah,
Uh,
it's real good.
yeah, yeah, awesome. Thanks.
But well, man, I don't want to hold you up too long. Sounds like you're a busy guy. We we appreciate you talking with us, man. It's always cool to talk to a wrestler. We normally do football, and we
Yeah,
normally do pro football players. So this is it's cool to have the change up. It's really cool, and
cool.
hear a different kind of career path and how people got to where they are. So everybody
Awesome.
check out the YouTube channel, Reese Humphrey. Just search that on. You can just throw that in up in the search bar, and first one that comes up as far as channels go. So check it out, and man, appreciate you talking with us today.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, have a good one now.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I haven't even myself listened to it yet, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm listening to it tomorrow, actually, so it's
Yeah,
gonna
you'll
be kind
hear.
of cool being able to listen to our own podcast. Because normally, like, I won't listen to it because it's like you just don't want to hear yourself on it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We both kind of talk about this whenever we're not, whenever we're not recording. It's weird to just sit down and hear yourself talk. So it's kind of hard. But yeah, you hadn't heard it yet, so it'll be cool to go back and
Yeah,
listen to it.
because what we usually do is I'll be like, dude, remember that part of the interview where Derek Dennis was talking about being a Panther, or like this guy was talking about something, and then you're like, I want to listen to it, and you go back and listen to it, and you listen to 30 seconds of it and turn it off because you're like, I don't want to hear myself talking on my
Yeah,
own podcast. But this time I'll be able to go back and actually enjoy it and everything, so that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully you guys liked it.
yeah. Hopefully everybody likes these. The little bit of change up. The change up's kind of cool to hear. Yeah, I know I literally just said it as I was wrapping up, but it's cool to just hear the different how he got to where he's at. Like how I got to where I'm at, not because I'm a wrestler. I'm not a football player. I did this and a little bit different experiences in life, with the Olympics and stuff like that. So
And from what you were telling me like earlier before we like I haven't listened to it, but like some of the details about like camps and coaching and all that. It's like a lot of different opportunities as a wrestler.
Yeah, definitely a lot of more opportunities get presented to you, and there's a lot more different I guess outlets, I guess you could say, to get your name out there and make it your thing. So like he was talking about working with TJ and stuff like that. Like that's getting into the UFC. I mean that's like.
By the way, he hit like on one of our Instagram things at one point.
TJ Dillashaw, yeah, he's like the Instagram post of ours. So
yeah, and he knows Reese Humphrey. So basically, we're gonna have him on.
We hope so.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I've been excited to tell people about this one. We might be having a boxer on.
Yeah, we're trying to get. We talked to a guy who's a boxer. He works out with Terrence Crawford or.
Yeah, he's helped him train.
Yeah, he trains with Terrence Crawford.
And
so,
by the way, Terrence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather considers him, quote, the pound-for-pound best boxer on the planet. So, I mean...
We're hopefully going to talk to a guy he trains with. So, that's about all we'll say about that yet. We don't want to get too excited and say something that doesn't happen, but hopefully...
We want to just thank all the people that helped share this channel and this podcast with Heath and Taylor and Dalton and...
all those guys.
Ella and Steven, all of them. So.
All those guys. Every one of them.
Tony Gravely did a major job helping us.
Yeah, it means more than literally you guys will ever know. So thanks to everybody. Thanks for checking out this episode. And be sure to come back in the future for more. Do your thing over at iTunes. And we'll see you next time.